Hi guys. It's the Overstreets. We're supposed to go live a long time ago, a while ago, but DeMichael has recently switched schedules, so he's been needing his sleep, and we tried to adjust to that. So it's been a while. We have a few questions and a couple of topics, and yeah, we're gonna get started soon. How's everyone doing? We've been doing pretty good. Like I said, just adjusting to the new schedule. He just went from nights to days, so we're all trying to get on board. And we also have a new fur baby. So life's been a little busy.
Hectic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hectic and busy at the Overstreet's house. So we're gonna jump right into this thing. You wanna go first, or you want me to ask the first question?
So we got a question from someone. We're gonna keep everybody's name, kind of confidential. Thank you for the word. We're gonna keep everybody's names confidential, but just kind of ask these questions and then just try to answer them to the best of our ability. And like me and Jasmine
Disclaimer.
talked about, the disclaimer that
We're not therapists.
we're not professionals. We just can kind of give it to you from our point of view, and then we're also going to try our best to try to incorporate like the right thing to do, biblical wise. So it may not always come out the right way, but we're just gonna do our best. So the first question is how to keep a man, and
You want me to talk about it first?
you can talk about that first.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. You cannot keep a man. A man has to want to be kept. So, yeah, that's really just my answer on that. Like, you can't keep a man. You can't force anybody to do anything. You can't do any wild tricks. If a person want to be there, they're gonna be there. So that's just how I feel.
So for me on that question, I put pretty much by respecting him. Most men, we want to be respected, just like women want to be protected. So if you respect a man, or you get out in public and you disrespect a man, or talk down on him, that just kind of very, very bad. And most men not gonna really want to be in that type of relationship. So I still agree with what Jazz was saying, is that you gotta a man gotta really be ready for that next step. So like I said, just respect them.
Good.
So
Okay. Number 2. You want to go or I go?
you can read it.
Okay, number 2. If we could change something from the past that we grew from later on in our relationship, what would it be? You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
I would say is for women. I know women, if your dads are active in your life or have been active in your life, you know, everybody have that daddy-daughter, daddy little princess, daddy-daughter relationship, which is amazing. It's great to have. And those that never had it or had it and then lost it, I think a lot of times what we'll do is try to, for me, I think, well, I could just speak for me. I will say, and the other women have talked to me about this, I wish I wouldn't have looked for a dad in DeMichael in our relationship. Meaning that, like, things that I know there's no way that he can possibly feel because he's not my dad. He's my husband. Like, the good, I couldn't compare him to the good that my dad did. I couldn't compare him to the bad because he's not my dad. He's my husband. So that's something that I really wish that I would have learned early on in life. But it's, we got married so young. So it was just part of growth.
And that just kind of rolled right into mine, is something that I wish I could have changed from my past that I grew from later in our relationship. I would say just to be honest, was just waiting to get married. Like, we got married super young. Like I said, I still wish I would have got a lot of things out of my system. And I think probably same with Jazz, just being young. We got married so young that I think we just wish we would have just kind of got some things out of our system. And also, and not just talking sexual wise, it's still the partying and
Childish behavior.
yeah, correct. So just things that, that when you're kind of young minded or immature, just kind of want to get out your system. And then me personally, like I said, I still want to choose her. So kind of still be with her. But like I said, I wish I would have just kind of waited, to do that. So
that's good.
That's my answer.
Okay. Question number 3. How do you know when you're ready for marriage? And how did the Michael know he was ready? This one is more for you.
Yeah. So how do you know when you're ready for marriage? For me, I just knew from the way how Jazz carried herself. Most men know. To me, I feel like it. You know if you're going to, if you want to marry a person or really be with that person. I think what we come into a lot of times is that a lot of the women give us wifely benefits. And when you start giving wifely benefits before, you do say I do, I think that kind of, prolong the time of, getting married. So if your
Absolutely.
woman kind of back a man in a corner, stop giving him certain things, and I'm not trying to speak out on the guys, but I'm just, just like
Being
so being
honest.
honest, truth, and transparency is our words for this year. But I'm just, just kind of being honest, just throwing it out there. But you continue to give those wifely things, then a lot of times we just gonna continue to kind of prolong
Milk the cow.
milk the cow. That's just what it is.
So, and
Oh, and I'm gonna add this. My bad.
no.
Also, you'll never be 100% ready because you don't know. What it's like. It's the unknown. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's marriage is different.
Right.
Things happen, and people marriages inside their households or inside whatever they have going on. Those things are different. So you'll never be 100% ready. I just think it's all about, like I said, just knowing that you're committed to that person. So.
Yeah, and because when DeMichael and I, we never shacked. We had AV early, but we never like lived with each other. And at first, I was like, "Is this like live? This how it is living with him?"
Yeah, like.
And I was just like, "Lord, like this is crazy."
Yeah.
Because it's we two different people, and so it's different. It's different. Everybody's marriage is different, and like he said, you don't know until you get there.
Right.
Okay, number 4.
Is it okay to bring up marriage in conversations?
It's for the singles.
Yes. So, and if so, how often? For me, I really believe, and like I just said in the previous question, is in truth and transparency. So, if you want to get married to somebody, or you really want to take that next step, I think you should be honest with that person. At least let them know how you feel. Men and women, y'all both just talk about it. Just kind of see where that person's head is. I think a lot of times women, and I think men too, because I know I've been there before, where I think that sometimes Jazz should know what I'm thinking and know it's time to do this and know it's time to do that. But if you're not speaking to that person, or you're really not like being truthful and transparent with that person, I don't think a lot of times, some people just, like I said, they just don't know that you're ready, to take that next step. And also I had setting boundaries. I really feel like that's a big thing of like I said, when how often you gotta put that person in the ultimatum. To me, I believe that if somebody's milking the cow, getting all these benefits, doing all these things, if you real deal like just back somebody in the corner, they're gonna have to make that decision. But you gotta be willing to go through with your decision. If you set that boundary or set that date of, hey, this is what it is, and I'm done, be done. Don't go back, But I think a lot of times people just let the flesh come in and then fall weak and then end up going back. So.
And how I feel about that, it said the question is it okay to bring up marriage in conversation? If so, how often? How often? Absolutely. Like I feel like when you start dating somebody, you should already talk about what your plans are, so you guys can see if you guys are equally yoked, if you guys are even suitable for one another. Because you have to say, if you talk to somebody, they can have great conversation. You guys can have a great relationship and be friends. But you're talking about marriage. You need to know if your person that you're dating ever want to get married. Some people never want to get married. Some people never want to have kids. So these conversations are necessary before you get in a serious relationship, and especially if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking to get married or to have children, you definitely should talk about that before marriage. And
finances also is another thing.
Yes, and you should definitely talk about those things. Religion, all those things before you get married or dating, like when it's getting serious and it's to the point like, hey, this is the person like I can spend my life with. It's not just like you know a little boyfriend or a little puppy love. Like it's deeper than that. So absolutely. Should there be a deadline for engagement? Like how long do you keep waiting?
And that goes like all my questions kind of running into the same. I think that's really just a personal, it's a personal thing. I feel like you really have to answer on that deadline. But like I still said, it's just setting that, pretty much setting those boundaries and ultimatums. Like when somebody's backed into that corner, like they gonna make a decision. If they really want to be with you, they'll pop on a knee or they'll take the whatever you want to do. They gonna take that next step. You know what I'm saying? But I really believe that's just that's really, really personal. I don't think you got to have your own mental deadline. And like I said, follow through with it.
Just, what would be your mental deadline?
For my mental deadline, me personally, I just feel like if
you propose and the girl haven't said anything else about marriage, you propose, like how long you going to wait as a guy?
I mean, where I'm at now.
Not now, just think.
I'm just saying where I'm at now. I'm just saying that I feel like I've grown. I think truth and transparency. I just let you know, like, hey, I propose. Like, you ain't said anything about being married, or you said yes, but you're not really acting interested. Like, are you still trying to do it? You still trying to do this. So if the answer is yes, then like, hey, we need to talk about the next step. But if you just kind of still want to wait, then to me, I feel like I'm gonna set that boundary in my head of like, okay, hey, she not with it, then since don't want to get married, I gotta back up out of there. She threw the red flag.
Okay, for me, I would say my personal, it's kind of a little tricky. I would say, I say between 2 to 3 years is as long as that I probably can wait. And when I say 2 to 3 years, we ain't finna be acting like wife and husband. If you didn't, we ain't going to the altar and all of that. I'm not gonna be doing all that.
Yeah. That's a long time,
2 to 3 years.
That's
just, I could be engaged for 2 to 3 years. Just like nothing extra.
I just think
now, that you want to be extra, you go ahead and go on down the aisle.
I think the 2 and 3 years though, like I said, I feel like that still got to be that planning the wedding.
Absolutely.
Planning certain things.
Absolutely. To plan a wedding takes a long time. We didn't have a wedding, but every time I think about planning one, it takes a long time. So yeah, that takes about a good year. And you have to get all that, the venue, the photographer, the caterers, all of this. Yeah. That takes a lot.
So yeah.
All right.
You want me to go? So how do you successfully learn how to be a mother and wife and still find time to take care of yourself? And that is definitely for her.
That's a good one. It took a long time for me to realize this. I used to just be a wife and a mother, like literally, that was just my life. And nothing's wrong, that's still my life, but like literally, there was no time for me. Like I would never take time for myself. And we talked about this the last time we was on. You need that time and that time away. Like the Michael used to say, Jazz, you need your time. And I was just like, no. And I'm going to be honest with you, because I was kind of like a little bit of perfectionist. So I was like, well, maybe it's not going to be right if I don't be right here over it and guarding it and doing this. But yeah, you drive yourself crazy, lady. So please make sure that you are taking that time and getting those breaks. Like we all need those. Go get a pedicure. Go out, go have lunch, meet up with your friends for lunch, go to dinner, go for some drinks, go bowling, skate, whatever you're into, a girls' weekend, whatever. You need that time. Like you really do. And
I say to tack on to that, just having a good support system.
Absolutely.
And understanding significant other, if you are married, having a understanding person with you that know, hey, you do need that time, by yourself and just not to think about home. And then I think if you're single, like I said, still that support system of having, if you have kids, single mothers, single guys, having a family member, friend, to watch your kids, just so you kind of, that you trust. Yeah, that's big. That you can just, kind of let your hair down a little bit. So that's my answer, but I think that was really focused more towards you.
Oh, that was good. That was a good answer. How to communicate effectively with your significant other without them starting an argument. I think that's the hardest one. Like that's the hardest question, and I feel like sometimes we still go through that one because it's like we have to remind ourselves, like we talked about last time, like nobody's intentionally trying to hurt us or aggravate us. But like sometimes it just depends on like your mood. Like if I'm grouchy and DeMichael say something, and then I might feel it's an argument. Same vice versa. If DeMichael's grouchy and I want to talk about something, he might feel it's an argument. So my suggestion would be finding the right time to have conversations.
Correct, that's good.
Finding the right time. Like if DeMichael just got off of work, it ain't time for me to talk about anything right now. Just give him a little moment. If the children are driving me crazy and I'm cooking, that's not the right moment for him to ask me and let's talk about something serious. So that's, again, that goes with also having those alone times with your spouse. And when you have those alone times with your spouse, it shouldn't only be for real deal conversations. It should be like, like when we get ready to go to lunch, you don't have to be like, oh God, it's about to be something serious. Don't bring something up serious all the time that you and your spouse get alone time.
Yeah, so I feel like everything she just said, but like I said, I feel like that's also the most important thing. One of the most important things in a relationship is communication. And as Jazz said, like that's still something that we still struggle with, communication is, like I said, you just have to really listen to your partner. I think we were looking at a TV show the other day, and it was a marriage counselor and therapist. They were talking about that. Like you just kind of have to slow down and not be so quick to just respond to that person, but to like just slowly listen to what they're trying to explain to you. But like I said, that's a hard one. That's very, very hard to me. And like I said, after 11 years of marriage, we still have that problem, but it's, like I said, I definitely feel, I know we've grown from the very first day.
Absolutely.
Being young, first few years, first 7 years of marriage, it was just bad. Like it wasn't easy. It wasn't, man, it was hard. It was a job, trying to do that. But at the end of the day, like I said, as you start growing, I think the communication piece, like I said, you start knowing your spouse, you start understanding that. I think that, like Jazz used to always tell me, the love language.
Yes.
And I still don't know the love language. I don't think she still know mine.
Yes, we do.
No, not to the, I don't think.
Not to the T.
Not to the T, but I just feel like you got to know what type of person you're really dealing with. And sometimes that take years for you to, for people that bring down.
Because people change too every 7 years.
Correct. Yeah, everything changed. Taste buds, everything.
Yeah, every 7 years, so. Yeah.
So like I said, that communication piece, like I said, effectively is time management too. Like I said, just trying to speak to that person at the right time, so that's my spiel on that one.
All right. You read them, baby.
Okay, so how can you get your spouse to check in for safety without them thinking you're trying to keep tabs on them? I'll start off with that one. I remember being young and fresh in a marriage when I go out with the fellas and Jazz would be like, how's everything going? I'm just like, man, like why she just won't let me just be in peace with my dogs? Like, let's just, so that, to me, I used to take it that way of, oh, she just checking in on me because she think I'm doing something. No, like I think it's really that what you don't, as a man anyways, what you don't want is your wife to not care for you or not check in on you. And I had to learn that. Like I remember me and Jazz were talking about that early on in the marriage. She's like, would you rather me like check in and care about you or not? And I used to give her the dumb answer of like, righteously, I don't need nobody checking in on me. I don't need this. I don't need that. But righteously, you want your wife to just know. And fellas, the biggest, for us anyways, or for me, I think we used to it's so hard to say, hey, this is where I'm at or this is what I'm doing. Just let your wife know what she is. A lot of times she don't care what you're doing when it comes down to if you with the fellas, she just want to know that you with the fellas. And just that, hey, I made it here safe. I'll be here for a few hours. We're going to shoot some pool, X, Y, and Z, and I'll be to the crib. I'll be back to the crib. I hit you up before I go. So me, I did learn, I check in. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to lie. Like it don't mean anything to me. It don't demasculate me in any type of way. I real deal. Just like, hey, this is what's going on. This is where I'm at. And whenever I'm coming home, I let her know, because if somebody have an accident in between that time, she know it ain't me. You know, if something happened, something bad happened, she know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, I know where she at. And I don't really feel like it's keeping tabs. I just think that's a maturity thing.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
I think it's
It has a lot to do with being mature. Also, with so much tragedy going on, it's really important for us to check in with one another, whether it's the male or the female, because so many things are going on. And so, you know, like DeMichael said, accidents, and then you hear these tragic stories of the African American men. So it's really important that you are checking in with your spouse, or even if you're not married, just to like let your friend know, hey man, I'm finna go here, or your homegirl or your homeboy, hey, I'm finna go here, because somebody will know where you at. Like, you know, the college kids, things were happening bad to them just last year, and so it's important that people know where you are. So I think that has something to do with maturity. Okay, no, that was all of the questions. We had a couple of topics we're going to go over briefly with you guys. Okay, the first topic is somebody asked us to talk about that no one outside your union should come before your spouse. Period.
That's pretty much self-explanatory. Like, and I do know the Bible does say that, you know, your spouse come before anybody. That's before your kids, before
your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, best friend, internet.
And that's not it's not an easy thing to do, because when you sit down and think about it, your mom or you like I said, young parents or your kids, they were like normally like your first love, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard and your pops, you like I said, for them to be there for you for that many years. And then you're saying, hey, I got to put this person in front of this person. To me, I think that just comes with time. It's supposed to be immediate switch. But I just feel like maturity. I just think maturity and time. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's just kind of where I'm at now. I know my priorities, and my priorities is God, my wife, my kids, I guess family, and then everybody else. You know. When it comes to people, then like I said, my job after that. But I just feel like you gotta have those priorities and know that nobody on the outside should be able to come inside what y'all have inside your union. So
I mean, I just think it's explanatory. Like, I feel that no one should just come before your spouse besides God. And, I mean, what he said is absolutely how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another topic someone wanted us to talk about was allowing people to get too close to you in like your personal space. So I'll let you start off on that one.
There's normally like red flags. There's also and that's one thing I want to talk about, red flags. You know, a lot of times we try to find the good in people, like unless you're like miserable and just think that everybody out to get you. Sometimes if you had a bad experience with a lot of people, which I have before, I would start thinking that everybody's out to get me. But it was for a reason. It wasn't just because, hey, I woke up and I think everybody's out to get me. So, but you normally have red flags, and you can't ignore the red flags, meaning that, hey, if you notice that somebody's snooping around your house looking through stuff, you done caught them, like, you can't just let that stuff slide. Like, you just gotta know what it is. Example, nobody's coming in my bedroom, period.
Statement declared as
nobody's coming in. Yes, nobody's coming in my bedroom. I have been taught that. Now, you know, of course, I don't mind my family coming in my bedroom, and like when I say like my close homegirls, if they came in my bedroom, I would not have a problem with that. But like strangers, and you just come to my house for the first time, and I'm just trying to get to know you, we trying to fit each other out. It ain't no reason for you to come into my room, darling. Period. Or sir, there's no reason we would be going to the guest bathroom. Do not come to my room. And that's just how I feel on the personal space. Also, I also have to fill you out. I'm not trying to look for a best friend to everybody. So everybody's not going to know all my business. Like, you know, these are general questions, but like, I'm not just going to scream to the top as soon as you meet me, everything about me. That's just getting too close and it's tacky. It's a hot mess. So yeah, just don't allow that, and don't ignore the red flags.
Everything she said. So the next topic is generational curses, and I think that's somebody who wants to talk about that. I just really feel like with generational curses, that's just one of those things you have to you have to want to change, to be honest. Like, I mean, you can use those things as a crutch, but it's like, when do you want to change? When are you going to stop using these things as an excuse to take the next step to level up? You know, just that's just being honest to me. Like, I really feel like uh, we all have in our bloodline somebody that's maybe alcoholic, on drugs, or anger problems, or whatever you have. You know what I'm saying? I really believe, like I said, just, I don't want to talk about medical field, but I really believe, like, mentally, you just have to try to be strong, and everybody's not there, and everybody's not going to be there. But I really believe that you have to, like, try to step out of. You got to stop using those as excuses to continue to do what you're doing, especially after you recognize it. I feel like life is it's like it's a lesson. You know what I'm saying? After I do something one time and I really feel like if the results weren't the best, okay, now I know. When you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like you should try to tailor to, go towards, the right path. But I just really feel like a lot of people use that as an excuse, and that's, I'm doing this because my daddy did this. I'm doing this because my mama did this. And like I said, I'm guilty of it, in the past. But like I said, a lot of times I want better for myself, and I want to change those things. So for me personally, that's just my mentality. Like I said, I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's just kind of my opinion on it.
Okay, how I feel about it is generational curses are real.
Yes.
And like the Mike said, you have to want it. And my biggest thing, it's okay to be different. It's okay to not do what everybody in the family is doing. It's okay. Like me, I have traditional things that I like to do that my family do, and there's some things that I just want to do because I made up on my own or what fits my home, my family, my kids. So that's just how I feel on it. It's okay to be different. There's nothing wrong with being different and wanting to do things differently. There's a lot of great things that I take from my family. With my kids, the Mike and I preach this to our kids all the time. There's some things that they're not gonna like that we did as parents, and we're okay with that. And so we want them to perfect those and change them for their kids.
Correct.
It's only for them to keep growing and getting better, and not, make them feel guilty if they're like, hey, mama, we didn't like you did this. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, hey, find what makes y'all happy. That's how I look at it. So,
yeah, that's like I said. I know Jazz talk to my mom almost every day, and I talk to my mom almost every day. And like I said, even me talking, for me personally, I can speak for me personally. I talk to my mom and my dad. And a lot of times, like, they know when I get on the phone, like, I'm gonna tell you how it is, because I know that's how my parents are with me. They tell me how it is. I mean, of course, no, nothing's perfect, but at the end of the day, like, I'm glad that they hold me accountable, and I'm gonna hold them accountable. Hold them accountable as well, no matter what the situation is. So I think that's another thing too. Is sometimes going back and tapping into your past, or going back and trying to clear the air about certain things. I had a situation where I had to contact some people, something that that really bothered me when I was a child, and they had no idea about what they said really affected me for years and years. But that's the reason why I moved the way I used to move. And at the end of the day, I had to, like, get that anger out of me. It was, like I said, I was showing that towards my wife, or just the people that was close to me, or just anybody. I already pop off on anybody just because of what was said to me as a child. And so after I cleared the air, I really felt like, of course, a lot of that stuff I think a lot of those things kind of, like, smooth their way out. Of course, like I said, still to this day, like I said, I still have certain issues and certain things that I'm just not gonna tolerate. I mean, but I think that's with every person.
yeah.
I think that's with every person. I don't think
that's a good thing.
So, but other than that, like I said, I think sometimes you do have to go back and try to clear the air. And like I said, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So I think, that's something that you may want to do too, for those things.
All right. Next one. Your spouse, mate/mate will not fulfill your every need. I got to talk about that one. Let me tell you something. Your husband, your wife, your mate, whatever it is, they are not going to fulfill you. They are not. Like, literally, I feel like happiness is an emotion. It goes. Like, today I can wake up, the sun is out, I'm happy. But tomorrow I might wake up and it's raining outside and I'm not as happy because I had plans to be outside and running down the street, riding a bike, whatever my plans, so I'm not happy. And that's an emotion. It can change with the wind. So I don't feel that you should rely on someone else to make you happy. I believe happiness should definitely come within yourself. And I can speak on that a lot because I know for me, I had a hard time with finding my happiness within myself. And when I found it, oh, let me tell you, it's a whole nother ball game. So I just pray that everybody find their own happiness within themselves. I love my husband. I love my husband. I love my kids, but I need to find happiness within me, with Jasmine. When I look in the mirror, I have to know that, hey, I am happy with me today. You know, I'm happy how I feel. Today, I'm not happy with myself. You know, I might have ate too many bags of chips, so I ain't too happy. That's how I feel about me. That has nothing to do with anybody else. So do not rely. I feel like also it's not fair to put that on somebody else and to rely on them to be. For them, you know, people are human. Like I said, happiness is an emotion. Pastor and co-pastor teach us that, a little bit of that too. But real deal is finding happiness within yourself. Once you find that happiness within yourself, life is it's not easy, but it's definitely
better.
It's definitely better.
Yeah, I agree with that. Next topic we have, and last topic, because we're coming on 30, a little past 30 minutes, and we don't want this to be too long.
Yes.
But forgiveness, I think that is another big thing in just relationships. And I'm not talking just,
not
marriages and not just with a boyfriend or girlfriend. I think that's
family.
The family with a lot of people, man. Forgiveness is big. And if you do forgive a person, like God forgave us, I really believe like a lot of times and I know it's hard, but you're supposed to leave it there. You forgive a person, leave it there. Not to. We're not asking you to. Like I said, I don't not forget about it. I don't feel like nobody should be just whatever the situation may be. I really don't believe that, but I do believe that you forgive somebody, like you're supposed to forgive them, and you gotta try to give that person a chance to, build a trust or build whatever it is whatever that disconnect that you all had. Like I said, I don't think it's always relationships. I don't always think it's your spouse or
Absolutely.
Significant other. Like I said, family members cross each other the wrong ways by over money, it could be over anything. But at the end of the day, forgive. That's a big thing. And like I said, I can't quote you the Bible, but I can tell you I'm pretty sure somewhere in there where you may not be able to get to heaven if you holding that grudge. I really believe that. So I live by that. Like I said, I can't quote the scripture, but I'm pretty sure like you're supposed to forgive everybody and love everybody. So that's just my spiel.
And once you change, and even when you're trying, because I know I went through forgiveness was the hardest thing for me with anybody. Like I said, because I went through so many people that I felt like they were just, people was just kind of like out to get me. So I had to like real deal. I want to say for like almost like a year straight at church, I had to go to the altar to help me forgive. And it's okay. It was okay. And it helped me to forgive. And now I just be like, am I? And then I asked myself, or I asked Jamaica, am I overthinking that? Is it that serious? If not,
a lot of times they do. Let's be like, Chad, just let it go.
And I just let it go. I'll talk to them about it, and then I'll just like, yeah, it ain't this serious. I am not worried about them. Let's let it go. And forget it, and tomorrow it's over with.
New day.
It was something else I wanted to say. Okay, last. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. So many people suffer with silence and talk, dealing with what is it, babe? Help me.
Depression,
anxiety, mental health is what I'm trying to say. Mental health issues.
And
the world have tried to make us like it's crazy.
Believe like it's a bad.
It's crazy,
thing,
or you're crazy, or you're insane, or it's bad to go see a counselor. All of that is ridiculous.
Making jokes about going to get your mental health.
That's ridiculous. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
That's not crazy. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to talk to a counselor. It's okay if you need some medicine. It's okay. That's what comes with happiness. You have to do what make yourself happy and you feel good. Don't let anybody get in the way of that. When I say anybody, I mean anybody.
Family,
don't let nobody
friends,
tell you that you don't need what you need for yourself to make you feel better. Period.
Yeah, I agree with that 1,000%. Like I said, like I said, it's working in this field, in the medical field. I do see, especially, not even working in the field. I really just believe in like that in our community, the urban community. A lot of times, like Jazz was saying, like a lot of times people make it a joke, or oh, is that person crazy, or they going to Altar Point, or they going to Search, or they going to this place, and it's like, hey, some people real deal need help, and some people can't help. You know, like I said, those generational curses and generational things, some of that stuff is really passed down.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, I don't know exactly how it's passed down, but genetics or whatever, but I still really feel a lot of times, like Jess said, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to get help, you know, and if you are dealing with depression or anxiety or anything, you know, to that nature, or just hearing voices or something, go out and get help. The earlier you get that help, the maybe it's something that's reversible, you know. But if you just trying to just hold on and please everybody, like, oh no, well, this is not it, it's not this, I can't be crazy, then at the end of the day, you know, you just kind of hurting yourself. Absolutely. So.
And I'll just share with everybody, I suffer sometimes from anxiety, and I'm okay with that. I am absolutely okay with that. I have a moment where times my head is constantly spinning. Things are constantly going. Sometimes I have to stay super busy. And so for me to help with my anxiety, working out, walking, running, writing, those simple things just help me. So I pray that it can help someone else.
Well, cool. I think this is going to kind of conclude our video. Like I said, we don't want it to go too long, and next time we'll try to make it a little bit shorter, but we want to just definitely hit those topics and those questions that people had. And
if you have any more topics or questions for our next session, go ahead and hit us up so we can go ahead and write them down and be prepared. And we just want to send a special prayer out to our mods and our family, Lord. I just couldn't even imagine, and I don't want to. So I'm just sending my prayers out to their family. And I'm very happy to see the post today for the run or the walk or the jog. Today's his birthday. So just everybody as a whole, as a nation, that we need to be praying for their family and other situations like that, that they stop happening.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. See y'all next time.
All right.